Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I've got another battle video for you. So this is a battle against Brady. He's got a pretty interesting team, and I'm bringing this team that I've been wanting to try out. It's got some of the Pokemon that were in the last battle, but it's also got Typhlosion here. So we're going to see how this one works. So I'm going to lead with Claydol, as my opponent leads with Bastiodon. So I'm expecting this Bastiodon to set up Stealth Rocks the first turn. So what I'm going to do is just Earth Power it, break it sturdy, and then that way I can set up Stealth Rocks, and the next time it comes in, it will be dead. But I'm actually surprised because my opponent actually goes for Metal Burst here. So unfortunately for me, my Claydol goes down the first turn, but I mean, it's not the worst thing because I still have Chestnut. Chestnut does have spikes, and I can still get some hazards up, even if it's not Stealth Rocks. But looking at his team, he doesn't really have anything that is weak to Stealth Rocks, so maybe spikes are the better hazard in this battle. So looking at how much damage the Bastiodon's Heavy Slam did to Chestnut, it's barely any damage. Leftover recovery brings Chestnut back to full health, so I'm okay with getting another layer of spikes as he stays in. So I'm actually got 3 layers of spikes on the field now. I'm already in a good position here. So this Heavy Slam, as we saw earlier, isn't even going to do enough to even, counteract the leftover recovery. So, I mean, it seems like he got the higher roll that time, I would have to say. But, I mean, that's alright because I can just Drain Punch and get that health back. And that's what I do. So we finish off the Bastiodon, and our Chestnut is at full health once again. So now my opponent's going to bring in Greninja, and looking at the last battle where my Chestnut took an Ice Beam from Greninja, I'm pretty sure I could live it, but I want to go for Spiky Shield just to see what he's going for. And he ends up going for the Ice Beam, so I'm thinking I should live it because I lived it the last time, and I do. I end up living it, but the Chestnut gets frozen. So I actually went for Drain Punch there. Drain Punch would have killed the Greninja because Greninja is very frail, and that's very unfortunate that Chestnut is now frozen. So this Chestnut is not going to be doing anything for this battle, and that's a shame because it would have been really nice to have, especially for the Tyranitar. But I'm going to actually switch into my Jellicent, as he reveals that he actually had the Acrobatics. So he actually probably just went for Ice Beam because he didn't want to take a Spiky Shield damage. But now I'm in here with my Jellicent taking physical moves. This Jellicent is actually a special wall. It's not really invested to take any physical hits, especially Night Slash from Greninja. But it lives, it barely lives, so my Jellicent's not in the best position right now. But luckily for me, I get the Toxic on this Greninja. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it will help in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead, go for Protect. That way, this Greninja's going to take some more poison damage. Its Toxic's going to start stacking on itself, and it's going to be whittling itself down some more. So I'm going to go ahead, get some more leftover recovery as well. And here, I'm actually going to switch out. I think Jellicent is still pretty useful in this battle, so I'm actually going to go into Honchkrow, just in case he wants to go for Night Slash again. I was actually hoping that he would go Night Slash, but he goes for Acrobatics. But that's okay because Honchkrow can live that. It's alright. So now, I'm actually going to go for Sucker Punch, hoping I can finish off this Greninja, and I can. So I'm in a good position now. Sucker Punch finishes off the Greninja, and I've also got Moxie, even though it's not really going to matter because he does have the Tyranitar. Tyranitar can pretty much take anything this Honchkrow wants to go for. But luckily, we get some spike damage, so that will help out. But Honchkrow is still pretty useful in this. This is a Choice Banded Honchkrow with Sucker Punch, Foul Play, Brave Bird, and Heat Wave. And Heat Wave is there just for Steel types, so I've got something for that. So I actually bring in my Chestnut, hoping for a Thaw maybe. But looking at this, there's not much hope for my Chestnut. I'm going to try to go for the spiky shield to get more health back, but yeah, Chestnut is gone. So unfortunately, Chestnut, which would have been perfect to take on this Tyranitar, is now gone. And I'm going to go into my Deblade, and I'm hoping Deblade can live a Crunch or even an Earthquake. And this Tyranitar actually has Crunch. And yes, Deblade actually lives that very well. I'm surprised at how bulky Deblade is. You don't get that much idea of how physically bulky Deblade is unless you use it. So now he's going to bring out his Garchomp. I don't really want to take an Earthquake on my Deblade, so I'm actually going to save it, and I'm going to bring out my Honchkrow. I know Deblade would go down to an Earthquake, most likely. Garchomp hits really hard, and it's a fast Pokemon too. It's pretty fast, so I brought in my Honchkrow, and I'm going to go for Sucker Punch. No, it's not enough to kill it. And unfortunately, Garchomp is going to get some rough skin damage onto my Honchkrow, and then Dragon Rush will finish off the Honchkrow. So now my Honchkrow has gone down, but I've put some chip damage on this Garchomp. And now a Shadow Sneak will be enough to take it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Go into Doublade and just go for the Shadow Sneak. I will take some rough skin damage, but I'm okay with that because if I can get rid of this Garchomp, that is huge. I do not want this Garchomp destroying my team. So now he's going to bring out his Electros. His last two Pokemon are Electros and Leafeon. And I would like to save my Deblade just in case I need it for the Leafeon, but Jellicent is not going to be doing much at all. It's not going to be able to handle a physical grass type and this physical electric type. So I'm going to let Jellicent go down, and I'm actually going to bring in my Typhlosion because Typhlosion is ready for some action. So now I'm going to pop my Z move. This is actually a Z Sunny Day set on Typhlosion, but looking at his team, he's got Leafeon. I don't want to help out that Leafeon by setting up the sun, so I'm just going to go for the Inferno Overdrive, and I'm going to destroy this Electros and just completely devastate it. And that way, I'm pretty for certain that Electros will be gone. And I know Typhlosion can handle the Leafeon. I've got Fire Blast on this Typhlosion. I know a lot of Typhlosions usually have Eruption, but this one has Fire Blast because it is a Z Sunny Day set. It's there expecting to maybe take one hit if it has to. So Fire Blast, even though it's not Eruption, it is enough to take out the Leafeon. So Typhlosion ends up finishing up the game there. It was a pretty good battle. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next battle video.